CEO at the
Farmington?
John, you had mentioned the South Side, and I'm on a lot of nonprofit boards here in Chicago, and I'm up for one, but most important, the Chicago Youth Centers to me. We have youth in these neighborhoods. So I love the passion you bring for the South Side, and what you and the Polsky Center are doing for the neighborhood. My real question to you and to the rest of the panel is how important do you think it is that we find anchor business tenants in these communities to really turn them around so that it's not just training and then we ship them off somewhere, but we keep it in these neighborhoods and start turning them around?
Great question, Roger. John and Emil, maybe?
It's a great question. We think a lot about that. I think that one of the things we've been building towards is building this pipeline of companies that we're helping get started, building connections to the broader ecosystem, whether it be venture capitalists, mentors, and companies. Now, what's starting to happen in the marketplace, interestingly, is that larger companies increasingly need to access earlier stage ideas. So we are becoming a convener, a natural market convener of large companies that want to be near the work that we're doing. Co-locating talent nearby the university is, to me, what's the company of the future is accessing talent by going to the talent. If you think about the past, it was typically large, research parks outside of the city. You look at McDonald's and Motorola and other places. That was kind of the way that companies developed themselves, and they could recruit and retain talent in those types of settings. That isn't the case anymore. It's a distributed workforce where you see the Googles of the world going out and setting up shop, across the street from Carnegie Mellon in Pittsburgh to access the robotics technologies. So I think the same things are happening. I certainly see it on the South Side. The work that we're doing is attracting the attention of larger companies that want to be near that talent. They're also very interested in engaging with the community because they recognize that there's a whole set of untapped talent that, if trained appropriately, could fuel their need for scaling. Because remember that as these companies grow and scale, you think about Amazon, 50,000 employees, that's a big number. So accessing the right type of talent is really important, and doing that in a place where the University of Chicago can use its muscle to convene. And again, as the city moves south with the Obama Library and Museum of Science and Industry and South Loop stretching southward, the Tiger Woods golf course, I think you're going to see a lot more opportunity to grow and scale that, and larger companies will need to be there. Fear and greed will drive them to be there.
I think one of the challenges is to make certain that we don't end up just pushing people further away by gentrifying at the end of the day. And I think my favorite phrase is, as I think about AI, machine learning, and a lot of things we're looking at, is this notion of elevate, don't eliminate. The same technology that can eliminate a job can elevate someone who has a high school degree to do something that you used to need a master's for. But I think it's something people have to keep front and center.
Yeah, I'll just add in, one thing I always say all the time is, we can't panel discussion ourselves into prosperity. Someone has to start a business, and I think there's a lot more awareness. There's a lot more awareness about the needs for people to start entities and businesses, and I think there's a lot of kind of discussion around that. But at the end of the day, we need an entrepreneur who comes from a particular area to start that business, to be able to grow, find some access to capital and a good idea and mentorship and that kind of ecosystem around them, because they're more likely to hire people that are from those different communities. And I think it's easy to say, hey, I'm going to train this person, I'm going to send them downtown, but there's a limited supply of those opportunities, and there's all these other challenges. And I think ultimately when we figure out a way and we really push towards that and really justify and say, like, that's the metrics that we're going to evaluate success, is how many true businesses that have 3 to 5 people, 5 to 10 people, 10 people plus, and really use that level of granularity to really assess how we're truly doing and moving that ecosystem forward. And until we do that, then it's a challenge. And that's what the work we do, that's the work seen with the Polsky, and some of the things I think moving forward that's going to be really exciting.
Well said. Well said. Yeah, round of applause for that.